Hi, I'm the Guitar Trooper, YouTube's favorite old guy. It is said that the little front pocket above the main one on a pair of Levi's is there for musicians to use, because that's where they place all of the money that they earn as a musician. It is true that many working musicians have a little remuneration to show for their efforts, but the passion for the art keeps them going, even if they are otherwise occupied or in dire straits. Allow me to introduce you to a young London-based band in 1977 who adopted that name, Dire Straits, as a popular legend has it, because of their financial status as they struggled to get noticed. In reality, though, all four of the guys had day jobs in the early part of the group's career, so their financial status wasn't all that grim, but the name could still be valid because they were desperate to get a recording deal. Perseverance pays off, at least it did in this case. A casual lyric from guitarist Mark Knopfler, along with a catchy chord progression and a series of memorable guitar solos, put Dire Straits on the map. Check out. It's September 1963, the home of the Knopflers, city of Blythe, northern England. The Knopflers, Louisa Mary and Erwin, are raising three children, Ruth, Mark, and David. Listening to their uncle Kingsley playing harmonica, the two boys' natural talent begins to blossom. 11-year-old David Knopfler exhibits a wide span of musical talent, competently playing guitar, piano, and drums, while his older brother, left-handed Mark, also shows musical affinities. Finding an attraction to a guitar, he begins using a tennis racket as an air guitar, miming tunes and strumming it, of course, left-handed. But after older sister Ruth shows him how one strums a guitar when holding it right-handed, he changes how he holds the racket. As it turns out, this simple interaction will stick with him when he begins playing a real guitar, putting his dominant left hand on the fingerboard and giving him excellent dexterity when playing. He begs his parents to get him a Fender Stratocaster. Well, the Strat isn't forthcoming, but he does end up with a Hofner Super Solid, a triple pickup design solid body very similar to a Stratocaster. Both boys began performing separately as both solo players and members of bands. A few years roll by. Both brothers go to college. Mark first studies journalism, but then earns a degree in English from the University of Leeds, while David earns a degree in economics from Bristol Polytechnic, now known as UWE Bristol. By 1976, both brothers have their college degrees, and although David has employment as a social worker and Mark is a lecturer at Lawton College in Essex, they are both still active in musical pursuits. Through collaboration with a group in 1973 called Brewer's Droop, editorial note here, 10 useless gold points are awarded to anyone who knows, without Googling it, what the term Brewer's Droop means. Now back to our story. Mark quits Brewer's Droop and meets drummer Pick Withers, recruiting him to form a new band called the Cafe Racers. David, meanwhile, is sharing a flat with guitarist-turned-bassist John Ilsley in a building in London known as Farrer House, and David joins Mark in the Cafe Racers. The band begins playing at local pubs. In April of 77, Mark's marriage breaks up and he moves into the flat with David and John. They jam together on guitars with John on bass, and soon Mark invites John to join the Cafe Racers as well. It's now the 1st of July, 1977. The Cafe Racers now have members Mark Knopfler on lead guitar and vocals, David Knopfler on rhythm guitar and vocals, Pick Withers on drums, and John Ilsley on bass. Eager to get a recording contract, they want a new group name to use on a demo tape, and Pick suggests Dire Straits, because even though all of them had day jobs and they weren't really in financial peril, they were desperately seeking a recording deal. Mark has a song that he wrote earlier that year after he witnessed a very average Dixieland jazz band at a virtually empty pub one rainy night in Deptford, South London. He had found amusement at the scene of a dowdy band playing to a practically empty venue, contrasted by their grandiose name, which the lead singer announced at the end of the set. Good night and thank you. We are the Sultans of Swing. Using an old National resonator guitar in open tuning, Mark designs a chord progression that supports the lyrics and allows for frequent intervening solos. To flesh out the lyrics, he adds references to players in a fictional band, but references are based upon real people. The guitar George and Harry, who are mentioned in the lyrics, are George Young and Harry Vanda, who were members of the Australian group the Easy Beats. Mark isn't satisfied with the sound of the song, though, until he plays it on his newly acquired 1961 Fender Stratocaster serial number 68354, a guitar like he had wanted since his teen years. July 9th, 1977, Farrer House, Deptford, Church Street, London. The band is ready for reintroduction, and Dire Straits plays their first gig under their new name. The first gig is actually behind the Deptford flat in which the guys are living, known as Farrer House. Although other punk bands play, the main attraction is a band named Squeeze, and Dire Straits plays as a supporting act. Running an extension power cord from the residence out to the green behind the back door, they premiere their new songs, including Sultans of Swing, with Mark now playing his refinished red Stratocaster. It's July 24th, 1977. Pathway Studios, 2A Grosvenor Avenue, in the North London borough of Islington. Time of day unknown. Pathway Studios is a converted residential dwelling known by those who recorded there as a dank, somewhat musty venue with barely enough space in the control room for 3 people to stand, but the microphones are first class, and the recorder, a Brenel Mini 8, is adequate for doing demos, even if not the highest quality. At the cost of £120, the band creates a demo tape of 5 songs, including Sultans of Swing, Water of Love, Wild West End, Down to the Waterline, and Sacred Loving, although it was never released when the demo tapes were published. Mark knows exactly to whom the tape should go. He is a DJ who did a broadcast every Sunday called Honky Tonk, where new artist recordings are showcased. It's Sunday, August 6, 1978. BBC London Radio Studios, 11:30 a.m. DJ Charlie Gillett's Honky Tonk show on BBC Radio London is immensely popular and has, as part of its audience, recording industry executives who use this show to scout for new talent. Charlie sees in Dire Straits a very talented new band and vows to play the demo recordings until they get a record contract. After grassroots promotion from BBC disc jockey Charlie Gillett on his Honky Tonk radio show, they get their contract with Phonogram Records. Monday, February 13th, 1978. Basing Street Studios, 8, 9, and 10 Basing Street, Notting Hill, London. Editorial note here, the specific studio used by Dire Straits is not noted, but as Studio 2 was the more intimate of the 2 studios at the converted 17th century chapel, it is likely that they recorded there instead of the cavernous Studio 1. But the time of day is unknown. Basing Street Studios have just installed a new Studer A80 24-track recorders, along with a state-of-the-art custom-built console, a Lexicon 224 digital reverb unit, and UREI 1176 compression units. The studio is a first-class technical installation. The first recording session for the Dire Straits album commences, and one of the tasks is to re-record the songs from the demo. All of them except Sacred Loving are re-recorded, and Sacred Loving will never be published. Sultans of Swing is re-recorded with cleaned-up guitar solos and completely new background instrument and vocal tracks. You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime. The sessions for the new album will continue through the end of March. Although the Dire Straits album isn't released until June 9th of 1978, Sultans of Swing, released in May of 78, is the runaway hit single from that album, posting in the top 20 on 11 international charts and top 10 on 7 of those. It boosted the Dire Straits album to the top of the charts in Germany, Australia, and France, and helped it make the top 10 on 7 international album charts after re-release of the single in 1979. Dire Straits' first album was one of 5 multi-million sellers that they would record between 1977 and 1991. The total creation budget for it, including all production costs, album art, and incidentals, was a mere £12,500, and yet, although precise monetary figures are difficult to calculate, its sales have been estimated at 15 million copies worldwide, and the lead single, Sultans of Swing, sold over 2 million copies. Dire Straits became one of the most successful and best-selling pop music acts of the 80s, continuing operations with some personnel changes until 1995. Over their career, the band produced 6 studio albums, 5 live albums, 3 compilation albums, 4 extended plays, 31 singles, and 15 music videos. And they sold over 100 million records, including 5 top 10 UK singles. After 3 years in the first 2 albums of Dire Straits and having control disagreements with Mark, David Knopfler left the band in 1980 to pursue a solo career. Now 72 in 2025 and married to American art professor Leslie Strauss, he lives with his family in the UK parish of Walborough. He has published over 20 albums since leaving Dire Straits, and although none of them have gone very high on the charts, he does have loyal fans, and he performed live shows until 2023. His wife Leslie does the artwork for the albums. Mark Knopfler, now 75 in 2025, remained a member of Dire Straits until the band's dissolution in 1995 and is now an independent artist, having produced 10 solo albums since then. Still very active in the entertainment industry, he has written and produced scores for 9 films and produced albums for Bob Dylan and Randy Newman. He has also been granted honorary doctorate degrees in music from 3 U.S. universities. In 2018, as a member of Dire Straits, Mark was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and, among other accolades, has appeared several times in the top 100 of Rolling Stone magazine's list of the top 250 guitarists of all time. His older sister, Ruth, who first showed a left-handed Mark about playing as a right-handed guitarist, died at the age of 73 in 2020. And it all started inside a lonely pub on a rainy night in London when young Mark Knopfler ducked in to get out of the rain and witnessed a hapless band who was playing to practically no one and who called themselves the Sultans of Swing. Hey everybody, thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you've watched it this far, you're bound to have liked it, so please do me a favor and click on that thumbs up icon and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. You can also use comments to leave suggestions for video subject matter regarding pop music and pop music culture from the 1950s through the 1970s. A great thing that you can also do to support the channel and the Facebook page is just share the video with your friends. Click on the arrow icon and pick the destination person and help us expand the audience. Speaking of supporting the channel, this would be a great time to subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber, or if you are watching this on Facebook and not yet a follower, start following the Facebook page. It's easy and it's free, and it lets YouTube and Facebook know that you support the channel. Just click on the follow button on Facebook or the subscribe button on YouTube and look at the main channel page, or click on the big purple icon that appears on the YouTube screen toward the end of this video. It's somewhere over here. And be sure to select the top notification bell on the drop-down menu so that you will be notified whenever I post new content for the public. If you would like the opportunity to see content on YouTube a few days earlier when it is viewable only to channel members, you can upgrade your subscription and become one. Just click on the join icon and follow the instructions. It's not a free thing to upgrade to YouTube, but let me tell you, it's as dirt cheap as YouTube would let me make it. Thanks again for watching.